What does it mean if you want to leave? What does it mean if you want something better for your life? What does it mean if you leave everyone you know and love behind in order to carve out your own selfish path? And what happens when you get there? This is the story of the day I hit reset on my life to leave the West and move to Thailand. The dream of living in paradise, starting a YouTube channel, and finally feeling alive. But the real question is,
was it worth it?
If you ever dreamt about just packing your bags, leaving your hometown, and embracing a life of adventure, you're not alone. I used to sit at home in the West and dream about just packing up and traveling the world just like you. And so 2 years ago, I left the UK to move to Thailand. The plan was to move to Bangkok, to become a successful YouTuber, and to create a better life for myself. Well, you know what they say about plans. Anyway, if I'm honest, this is actually less a story about me and my journey, and more a question that I have to ask you. And that question is, should you do it too? Now, there are many ways I could start this story. Stories about how I used to watch Keeswan making videos on Jomtien Beach and wish I could do the same. Or how I'd watch Paddy Doyle on the island of Koh Chang and feel a yearning in my spirit pulling me to the islands. I could tell you stories about how I fantasized about walking through the back streets of Bangkok off the beaten track away from the tourist trails. But the story doesn't start there. And anyone who does start their story there, well, they aren't telling you the truth. Because actually, it started long before that. I remember the day well. It was raining again and cold again. I'd already spent months watching Thailand YouTubers and it just felt like the algorithm was slowly taking control over my life. So I went online and I looked for flights to Thailand and I decided on a date. September the 6th, 2022. That was the day that everything was going to change. September the 6th was the day that I was finally going to say goodbye to long, cold, dark winters, overpriced Tesco and Co-op meal deals, ULEZ fines, and an anti-male, anti-freedom government. I was already in my 30s and supposed to have my shit together. My friends were getting married, having kids, but I wanted to march to a different drummer. I didn't want security, certainty, and monotony. I wanted personal insecurity, where I forced myself out of my comfort zone. I wanted uncertainty, where the fruits of tomorrow were never promised. And I was so desensitized to the beauty of life, I craved variation. I didn't want a job like everyone else around me. I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I wanted to create and to connect. I wanted to live different. So I took the dogs for a walk and I went and spent time with my family, called people and told them I loved them, and got on that plane to move to Thailand. So what happened next? Well, that was 2 years ago now. I've traveled all across Thailand. I've met a beautiful partner. I live in amazing condos and I eat banging food. I am warm all of the time, arguably too warm. I have more options. I spend my time between the best city in the world and the best island in the world. I live more and I spend less. And I've made new friends. So it sounds like a happy ending, right? Whilst there might be many of those in Thailand, if you think this is where the story ends, you'd be mistaken. What if I told you that nothing's really changed? Something I've come to see through my time in Thailand is that it isn't about changing your life situation. That's the most important thing, but changing who you are. I came to see we are not who we are. We are just the expectations of others. We have conformed to conformity and confined our creativity through fear of the judgment of others. When I came to Thailand, I dropped my cultural indoctrination and my preconditioned responses to everybody who thought they knew me. And I began to recreate somebody new. Because when you change your environment, you change. I mean, we are intricately intertwined with our surroundings in ways we can't even conceive. And when we came to Thailand, I began to unlock my true creative and entrepreneurial potential. And I do think that in order to achieve everything you've ever dreamed of and everything you're capable of, you need to say goodbye to everything that you love the most. And that takes us to the next chapter in this story. I realized that through growing my small little YouTube channel that it wasn't just starting a YouTube channel and posting videos, but I was creating an entirely new identity. Like, I've been an online entrepreneur for over 7 years. I've generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in Shopify. I've grown agencies to over 100 employees, but starting a YouTube channel, it just hit me a little bit differently. Somewhere during this journey to Thailand, I made a shift from a consumer to a creator. And eventually people began to comment on my videos. People found what I had to say valuable. Okay, I did have to dig through the ladyboy jokes and accusations that I was some wannabe online grifter, but nonetheless, the positivity was there. And this leads us to the present day. If I were to say to you that no amount of pad thai will fill the meaning-shaped hole in your life, or no amount of sun will brighten up the dark days that you have inside, would you call me a liar? Moving to Thailand won't solve your problems. Yes, you'll make new friends, but they'll never replace your old friends. For everything you gain, you lose in equal measure. So where do we go from here? I am happy in Thailand, I am. But I did realize that if I wanted to be truly happy, I needed a bigger goal, a goal bigger than myself, a stretch goal. And that's why I've decided over the next 10 years, I'm going to help at least 1,000 people to travel the world through content creation and community building. I am going to work hard to build a thriving community of good people who simply want to create a life of world travel and financial abundance, who want to reach their full creative potential, break through their limiting beliefs, and make money online whilst making the world a better place. So, is this where the journey ends? Not a chance. This is where your journey begins. Every day you are faced with a blank slate of endless possibilities. The problem isn't that you don't have enough options. The problem is that you have too many. So if you want to launch that business, start that YouTube channel, that trip, or ask that girl out, do it, because every mistake you make will be washed away by the sands of time. Embarrass yourself, and hidden in the mess of embarrassing yourself is the artwork that is your life. Are you going to hit reset on your life and change the rest of your future?
I wish you luck, my friend.